moving up towards the stage. Front row access to the panel is going to be here tonight.
Sometimes they need
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't mind, we're going to get started in just a few minutes. If you want to move up, get a little closer.
Can I take a picture of you?
For those of you who don't know me, now that I actually call my breath, I am DJ Psycho from RI3 Radio and Mind It Out Radio only on RI3Radio.org. Also, ladies and gentlemen, don't forget, once we're done with the panel is going to be sticking around. Feel free to mingle with us, chat with us. If you got music for us, that would be awesome. Because every CD I get gets played at least once on the radio show. Okay, you see I'm sucking up for free music? I gotta tell you, I still have Tammy's CD. I have one of the original pressings of Copper in my wife's Jeep right now. You can ask her, she's that spot. Okay guys, we're going to get going.
I got it on my...
To my immediate left, we have Greg Beachy.
I got it on my...
You dropped that right? Okay, he's a promoter from Manifest Entertainment. He books at Dusk, The Power, Fat, Alchemy, News Cafe, and more. And more. I took that right off the event page. And more to come. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Alright, so I actually moved up to Providence only about 3 years ago. My passion, I've always been a musician. Right now I'm in a band and I have a project as a music producer. Music's always been a huge part of my life. I'm sure that's true for pretty much everyone in this room, right? And when I started coming out in Providence, I started coming out to Alchemy. I met Davey and a lot of awesome people. And there was a void here for booking, and I had done a little bit of that when I was in New Jersey. So I kind of just fell into it here, and my company will actually be a year old a month from today, which I'm really proud of. Actually tonight, Manifest also dropped their spring tour. As my friend here said, we have shows going on at Dusk, Fat, News Cafe, planning a really cool side-based show at Royal Aquarium. I like to do a lot of different genres, bring a lot of different people together. One thing I really like about doing this is the opportunity to meet so many new people, and there's a lot of people I see here tonight that I don't know, so I look forward to meeting you, talking to you, and seeing how we could manifest some cool stuff in the future together.
Very cool. Nice. Immediately to his left, we have Daniel Chatsopoulos. I'm not even going to attempt the middle name. Italian, Greek, either way, they screw up our names. He is the general manager over at Fat Ballroom and Lounge.
Yeah.
Want to tell us a little bit about yourself, Dan?
Well, as my name indicates, I'm Greek. The ending means son, the Poulos means son. So in a literal translation, a very loose translation, I could be a Hudson or a Hudson's son or something like that. So anyway, but it's Katopoulos. I've been with Fed Music Hall for about 3 years. I've been in the live venue music industry since 1991. Going from venue to venue in different parts of the country, and I like what I do. And you know, Providence was probably one of the most challenging stops I've ever made in my life so far, and I'm very appreciative of that. And because I like a good challenge, you know, running a venue the size of Fed or larger or smaller in any way, it's not just a booking process, it's not just a customer service. There's so many elements involved in everything, and unfortunately, I'll be very honest with you all, what always comes down to economics. So we have to sustain a business. It's a business after all. So my job is to make sure, that the business runs smoothly, and, we're not going to be facing, financial difficulties down the road. So that's what I do. That's what I bring to the table. And if you want to ask, go right ahead.
Okay. To his left, we have Nina McCarthy, who is a host from Boston Rock Radio, also running BB Entertainment. Is that still up?
It is. I've been doing that for 17 years, but Boston Rock Radio has taken over full time.
Okay. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, like I said, I've done booking management promotion for 17 years with BB Entertainment. Started in 2015 with Boston Rock Radio. We play all original music, rock and metal. The station started in March of 2015, and we're internet radio, played in over 105 countries with over 30K unique listeners per month. We do reviews, interviews. My job is actually, I'm the senior rock journalist, so I specialize in interviews. We have a staff that also does reviews of CDs, live shows. We're in great need if anybody is writers. We're growing rapidly. We're in great need of writers constantly.
Now, to her left, we have Tammy LaForest. Now, they didn't give me a primer on Tammy, but I do know she does the open mic night, and you also do. She used to. Katie's filling me in. But you also do the locals, covering locals. Tell us a little about that, a little bit of background on yourself.
Hi, I'm Tammy. Locals Covering Locals is an event that I have. It's a series, so we just did number 4. It's an event where I collect local musicians and they cover the songs of other local musicians. It's a very challenging event because nobody understands how hard it's going to be when they get into it, and I try to prepare them for that for 3 months in advance, and I always have people drop out, like freaking out at the end. I can't do it, but we all use sheet music. We use the cheat sheet.
Yes.
And that's fine. I also do Women's Night, which is a club night for queer women, and various other things in the music scene. I do booking.
Okay. And last but not least, we have Vince Volz, DBT Entertainment. Billy's most referred booking agent.
Let's go Devils.
You book at the Great Room, Arena, Bar. Am I right on these?
2300 Arena, and Bar 2300 is the other half of it, just a smaller venue.
And the Broken Goblet Brewing. And you also do a bunch of festivals too.
We've been together, myself and my partner Jim Thorpe, we've been booking together for about 8 years now. Independently, I've been booking and performing for about 18 years. Not performing anymore, just strictly found my passion with just helping out, developing local talent. We enjoy consulting, trying to help people get to the next level. So we work with a lot of venues. We try to put it in the triangle frame. It's us, it's a venue, and it's the artist, to make sure that everything works together. People are compensated, people are taken care of, they get an enjoyable experience when they're traveling through, as well as the locals that we deal with.
Now, when you started, did you just start as a band and progress, or how did you start off?
I was in a local band for about 5 years. We ran the local market, Baltimore to New York, outside of Philly, but that was about the extent of what we did. Once my band ended, we had some friends I had some friends who would come up and say, hey, you guys used to play here regularly, help me get a show. Or help me get a show at this place. Or let's book a show and do a reunion with you guys. So it just became helping the next group of musicians that were coming up. And I found out that I really enjoyed that as opposed to the live performance. I I wasn't the best student of my instrument, to put it honestly. I wasn't going to progress to stardom as a guitar player. I was pretty honest with myself on that, although I still enjoy it. But that's where I found being able to help other people and start from there. That's where it all became a thing for me. Started doing a night here, a night there, and an opportunity opened up at a venue that I used to perform at, reopened under its original owner, original management, so I had a history, and I was expecting to get, oh, you can book every Thursday, or Tuesday, for that matter. And they said, well, no, you can have every other weekend, and within 2 months it was the full schedule. And it kind of just took off from there.
Well, I'm going to start with you, and I'd like to run down the aisle. What do you look for, or what really attracts you or detracts you from the bands that you're booking? Like someone comes up to you, and what are you looking for in personality or just in their music to say, yes, I'm going to book this band, or no, I'm not going to book this band?
It's absolutely both of those things. It's the personality and it's the music. There are a ton of amazing musicians, and there are a ton of really shitty people. I apologize. I know this isn't always about. Sorry, but I want to be honest. While we're sitting up here, I think that's what everyone really, from our end of it, wants to convey. Is it's not always pretty. It's not always perfect. It's certainly not easy, and a lot of us do this not as our bread and butter. A lot of it's a passion. I did it for a long time as my main job, and ran into a venue owner who decided not to pay regularly, put me in such a position I had to go back and get a day job, but I still do this after that because it's what I care about. So after going through that, it really puts it in perspective. When you meet musicians, everyone wants to be a musician at some point, I think, growing up, and they go different ways. If you determine that that's what you want to do as part of or your entire life, care about it. Put the passion into it. Be serious about it. Don't just do it for the chicks and the drinks. I mean, if you're good, that comes with it, guys. It does. It's just pretty bad. For most of us. But no, in all seriousness, just care about it. Put the work into it that you want to get out of it. If you want to shred solos all night long, if you want to play the longest drum solo, if you want to hold the longest note out, that's great, but it better be in key, it better sound good. That's the only way you're going to progress. And I make light of it because this is what we do. We want to engage everyone. We want you guys to listen. But the bottom line is you have to be good. You come out of the garage too soon. You try to get too much too quick. You forget about quality. And that's the biggest problem with local music and developmental music these days, and why crowds don't come to see it as regularly, because they can't depend on it. They can't rely that if they go to this show, it's going to be good. So what we like to do is screen it. Like, we have smaller venues, but we've luckily been able to build relationships to have larger venues. So we can go from 20-person house shows, 100, 150-person original venues, to rooms that hold 1,700, 2,000 people. We assist with bands who are on opening acts at festivals of 15,000. We can't always get you in there, but we have those contacts and we can help develop. But you have to be serious, you have to want it, and you got to be good.
Tammy is nodding furiously as you're talking. I'm taking you agree, Tammy?
Oh yeah. I think one of the problems with local music is that local musicians don't always travel. They don't see bands outside their town. It's really cliquey, and people encourage each other too much. If you traveled outside of your city or your state, you're like, whoa, I suck. I'm quitting. I quit music. And I mean, the thing I look for the most when I book people is reliability. So if someone lays out at anything that I've ever done, I never book them again.
Now, Matt, you're in a little bit of a different situation where you're not booking bands, but you're putting them on the air. What do you look for in a band? Obviously, they can't suck, but, you know, is it there any like telltale sign if someone's handing you that disc that I might as well just use this as a frisbee, or can you tell, or is it just you gotta listen to it and suffer through it once before you can make that determination?
Well, you should give it a listen. I personally usually like something different because I hear so many bands that they all start to sound the same. So I like to hear something a little unique that catches my attention. Also following the instructions when we ask for submissions. They need to be labeled, they need to come up, online, so it has to have tags with the name, the band name, the song name, etc. They don't follow the instructions when they submit, it goes right in the garbage.
By the way, if whenever you're having your discs made, spend the extra $1 or $2. Make sure when the track comes up, it says the name and the name of your band. Otherwise, you're going to get absolutely no airplay. But moving on to Danny. Danny, any bands that really stick out that you either, I don't need names because we don't need to, pigeonhole people, but any bands that stick out that you really want to book again, don't want to book again, and why?
Well, there's two sides to the story. There's bands that I would love to see in our room again because I absolutely love them. And there's bands that I would love to see them again in the room because they did the numbers. So there's two sides. And I have the tendency sometimes to I'm not really a booking guy. I'm not really a booking agent. I only step in sometimes when I want to please my own personal likes. And I do that quite often, actually. Sometimes at a risk, sometimes not at a risk. So yeah, there's two sides. There's acts that are out there of music that I personally don't like at all. I think they're not music to my ears. They're not. That's my own personal style of preference. But they do the numbers. They bring the people. They have a big following. What do you do about that? You have to go with the business. You have to run the business too. At the same time. And there's musical acts that are absolutely phenomenal and they turn out extremely poor. And I can bring an excuse, I can bring up a name, not excuse, I can bring up a name as an example. And I've said this example many times over and over. There's this wonderful artist. Her name is LP. A lot of people probably know her. LP is an artist that once she plays overseas, she brings in, crowds of 5,000, 10,000 people. She came to Providence, she brought out 120. So there's a big difference, and she's just simply amazing. That's an artist I will definitely bring back, regardless of the cost. Does that answer your question?
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Great. You could pick your choice of any of the questions I've already asked.
Can I just freestyle?
Sure, freestyle.
Well, I'll just combine a little bit of everything.
Give him a beat.
Echo, turn it up a little bit downstairs. I'm ready to go. Can you hear me?
A little more on the monitors, please.
I think I'm really lucky working with so many venues and being an independent booker because I see a real mix of the national scene and the local scene and the importance of both. I strive for quality with the shows that I put on and want to bring out headline acts, big acts that people are definitely into. I've booked some of those people without a local opener and had the show absolutely bomb because I knew it was great music, but just enough people didn't know or didn't hear, or that night there was an awesome moon out and the beach was way too cool. Who knows, really, You have to kind of just roll with the ebbs and flows of going through this business. But, when I have a place like Dusk or an Alchemy on a Wednesday and a Fed on a Friday, I could almost roll the whole thing and look at it from a business perspective as the whole weekend or the whole month and say, sure, let's risk this one here and know that with these locals here, we're going to bank. And sometimes with the local scene here, you guys really do come out and support each other so well. It's beautiful. And that allows me to book cooler bands that people want to see, even if at the end that's a loss. It allows us to all keep rolling, and I think that's what Providence wants to see, is a little bit of a rise to the buzz and gaining some hype so that we keep coming out and say, this is what I'm doing with my money. I'm going to work a little bit harder so that I can go to this and have a good time and support artists, whether they're a good national or an awesome local, your friends. And when people are promoting I have so much help because so many people believe in what I'm doing that I don't actually have to do a lot of work. A lot of people talk for me, and that's the best thing that can happen.
Pretty cool. Nice. Now, well, you can avoid. It's interactive, guys. Now, working with the bands that you do work with, do you find it's better off to cluster like 1 or 2 bands together because you know they play well together, or even just they get, you know, they're friends, they play well on stage and off, and they just the vibe they bring just like brings up the room? Is there, do you run into that a lot, or is it just once in a while? Or?
It depends. I think you always want to bring diversity to your stage to some extent, but also sometimes people book to a niche. You know, I do book more shows that people might consider like a jam rock or a funk kind of vibe, but I like all genres myself and want to be involved with EDM and hip hop. I have DJs play in between sets sometimes to break it up. Sometimes this works, sometimes it does not. Sometimes you bring out 2 bands that are in the same genre and you think, oh, so many people like these bands, look at their Facebook numbers and whatnot. It ends up that the same exact people like the same 2 bands. So numbers wise, it doesn't do much. But you also, it can go either way for sure.
Now, Danny, when you're, now I know you've got a big show coming up tomorrow. As these shows, Hate Breed is tomorrow. It starts sometime around 2 in the afternoon and goes till about 1 in the morning. It's also the Tattoo Festival. I'm going to be there by the way. So when you're bringing in these bigger shows, when you're booking, you know, national acts, is there something different or something where the riders just, it gets difficult and sometimes it's easier just to work with the local bands, or do you find it easier to work with the national bands because you have it writing exactly what they want?
Well, at this point, you know, I mean, in the facility that I'm at right now.
Speak up!
Hello?
There we go.
Thank you guys. In the facility that I'm at right now, you know, we have pretty much everything in-house. So, you know, it's kind of easy for us to accommodate, you know, national acts or local acts for that matter. So there's not much of a difference. You know, the national acts have usually, you know, higher demands as far as them being treated differently backstage. And that's about it. That's the only difference, I would say.
So basically, the green M&M bowl has to stay full at all times.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay, Nina. I hope you guys don't mind. I'm just going back and forth. Do you mind? Okay. Well, all right, we'll do questions after. But all right, Nina. Working on the radio show, getting all the new artists in, the old artists in. Do you find yourself almost picking and choosing some of the bands you like more versus some of the ones that are requested more? Or do you even take requests?
The requests are done online, so that really doesn't work for me. I get the need more for the reviews and interviews.
Okay.
When it started out, it was just local bands, or I have to go to publicists. As time went on, the publicists are coming to me. So anytime there's a new release, up and coming bands, I'm bombarded with emails, and I do 95% of the interviews myself. So I'm backlogged, I can't keep up. So it's hard. So I'm getting to the point where now I start to have to be selective of who I'm going to interview and who we're going to review and cover. I do have writers that do most of the reviews, so depending on the genre, I send them off to them.
Now, do you write everything out yourself, or you just you give them the gist and they write it out? Or how does that work?
They write it out. I usually get the press releases, and like I said, depending on the genres, I send it to groups like Alison Kingsley, and they know she does most of the metal.
Okay.
Just send it out to them. It comes back to me. I edit it, approve it, and then send it out.
Okay. Tammy. Now, I'm going to switch gears a little bit. You have a lot of feathers in your cap. You've won different awards. Do you want to just list off a few of the things that you've been noted for?
Can I give a few things I don't want everyone to know?
Well, if you don't want to talk about them, we don't have to. This is safe space.
Let's see. I tend to do projects. So right now I'm Brown Prize Index Bisexual. I hold the title. And I wear a crown and a sash, and I do lots of fundraisers. And that's been this year. I tend to do at least one fundraiser a year. This year has been all fundraisers. Right now I'm working with Sojourner House for their spring campaign. And that's just like the fundraising angle. It's not music related, but I usually throw music into it. So I reach out to the music community and say, hey, do you want to put together a show? And I usually reach out to different parts of the music community because I get more people in, because they don't overlap, as you were saying.
Total sidebar. Did you run across Steve Maceo, by the way?
Oh, yes.
He actually had to take off. By the way, if anyone met Steve Maceo, he's part of the 1 of 52 project, where basically he tries to get one event a week, every week of the year, and the proceeds go to the Rhode Island Food Bank.
Yeah, the Rhode Island Food Bank.
So
it's really good to do that. It's not hard. If you're doing an event already, you just kind of combine it with it. If you're playing a show, if you have something at your work that you can put out, it just doesn't take any effort at all to work with them. I actually ran into Steve not this past weekend, but the one before in Coventry at the Maple Sugar House. We just happened to be there at the same time. It was so random.
He's all over. If you remember George Nasser, Steve's the same. He's all over the place all the time. Okay, Vince, I'm going to ask you a similar question I asked Daniel here. When you're working with whatever venues, larger, smaller, what do you find is easy to work with? The nationals, the locals, and what's some of the weirdest things that some of the nationals have asked for?
I might have signed non-disclosure agreements to go into that too. When it comes down to working with, you almost can't compare. The local scene is, you're developing them, they're working their stagecraft. What happens after that is almost secondary. As long as everyone is upfront about the situation of the show, they know what the pay rate is for the night, they know what hospitality the venue offers. It's pretty much a given before they walk in. So that's usually not too much of an issue. As far as the nationals go, it's nice because it's a professional environment on paper. You know what you're being asked for, you know what you're going to provide, you prep in advance, you have what you're told you need. Then occasionally someone shows up and you're running circles around the neighborhood to try to find something that wasn't on paper. I've made multiple trips over multiple bridges to find a Leslie pedal because theirs wasn't working and they needed it for a show. I didn't have to do that because it's not part of the contract, but sometimes things like that happen, and if you have the time and you care enough, you can go over and above to make sure everyone's happy and you can do what you have to do. But it's really not, you don't get too many surprises. You're contractually obligated to be at a certain level, and as long as you're there, it's usually way less than what's actually in the paper because someone who's never been on tour writes that and asks for those things. So.
Okay, I'm going to do one more group question. You guys can figure out the order you want to answer it in. If you had to take a local band right now under your wing, and you're just going to tell them, this is what you need to do. 2 pieces of advice, the golden rules, whatever you want to call them, for a local band just starting off. What would you tell them?
My mind started going somewhere else because we consulted with a few acts and I initially promotionally wanted to say their names and plug them and say, this is what you should do, be like them. But to your real question is when you're just starting off. So what I would say is, don't let anybody know about you until It's such a difficult, I don't know what the threshold is. Don't fly out of the garage. Stay in there, get everything you want to get together. Get your music together, get your live show together, get your merch together, get your video together. Come out like you're a package that deserves to be seen and will be treated that way, as opposed to, hey, guess what, tomorrow we're playing at so-and-so. It's too late, it's too little. You really have to take the time and think out your game plan. You have to have a plan for your band.
Part B, how far ahead should you plan for a show?
For a show, for an individual show?
If you're going to start promoting a show with this new band, how far ahead should they plan?
As a band, at least 6 months, probably 3 months. But you still need to come in every show like it's something new. Because the same show is only going to carry you 2 or 3 times in before you start losing people. You need to write, you need to refresh your show on stage. Not every band has a gimmick, it needs one. Sometimes the music speaks for itself, it should. We're all purists, I think, we would love for that to be the case, but it doesn't always. So you need to make sure that your show is alive, you're engaging enough as well as having music, and refresh that as often as possible to maintain the crowd.
Same question, Tammy. You got your arm over someone's shoulder. Golden pieces of advice for a starting band.
So having my arm over someone's shoulder is my favorite thing to do, actually. So as the host of an open mic and doing local covering locals and having all these friends, I actually like to do that more than I like to play music. And I would say that the best thing you could probably do is meet everyone and go to a lot of things. They never have to know that you're a musician. They just have to know who you are. Go out there and meet everybody. Say, hi, I'm Tammy Forrest. Brand yourself. Get to know, connect, network. Go to the Midday Social. Do stuff like this. And then, when you have your product that's finalized and finished, you'll be able to have people who are good connections to give it to. And had a second piece of adventure here.
Last time I was asked this question, I said, don't be an asshole, so you did better than I did.
And I mean, the other thing is, I know, not for a very beginner, but if someone tells you that you're really good, and you are, like you've traveled out and you've gone to other places and you are better or as good as the really professionals, don't waste that talent. Don't waste your time. Take it really seriously. People want to hear you. People want your recordings. Don't flake out. Take advantage of it while it's happening, because if people think you're really good, I want to keep hearing you. Keep going.
I'm going to ask you the same question, because I know you do have a background with booking. If a band wants to get on the air with you, what would be the 2 pieces of advice? At least one, if not 2.
Well, to try to have a different answer, really work hard, really believe in yourself. There's a lot that goes with it, the social media, really promoting yourself, building your fan base. Definitely leave your ego at home. I don't care how good a band is, if they have an ego or an attitude, they're not going to get booked or booked again.
Cool. You guys got that? Just think, are you guys awake? I haven't heard a thing. There's going to be questions and answers later, and you guys got to be ready with some questions. Okay, Danny.
Every answer right so far is a great advice and a great answer, so I'm not going to repeat by saying something similar. I'm going to go backwards a little bit. And I want to point out, a band is like, is a team. So you need to have, great personalities and create friendships. Because this friendship is going to be tried out so many times. And you need to be able to overcome whatever difficulties you have. So bonding with each other, and then just simply having fun. And if you have talent, that talent's going to show. I think that's number one in the list. And everything else will follow.
Okay, Greg? Finish up the question?
Big musician, to really have that happen in your life, you're dreaming twice as big as everyone else. So if you're dreaming twice as big, you got to work 3 times as hard, maybe more than that. My advice, honestly, don't quit your day job. I work my day job 40 hours a week, go straight to a meeting, go straight to band practice, fall asleep at 12:30 and do it again. 5 days a week and keep grinding, and that's really what works. And because I work like that, I think my bands might actually make it. I also tell everyone about it. I'm in a band called Jabberwocky. We're playing at the Met tomorrow night with Daddy Longlegs. We're playing Strange Street. We've been together for 5 months. We're playing festivals all over the Northeast. So if you really believe in it, you really work hard, you can do it. The end.
Okay, guys, this is your turn. We got a couple of minutes left. Questions?
You want the mic or you can do the mic?
Sure.
Like, where do we answer? Who's it for?
So my question is for anybody who books. I'm a singer-songwriter without a band, so I'm just one person. Are there any kind of telltale signs or do's and don'ts that you look for when a band emails you cold, or when an act emails you without having a connection, without knowing them before? Because a lot of what I'm trying to do right now is get into other venues in different cities. Do's and don'ts of emailing, I guess, for a show, for a booking.
Okay, hold that one right there. I'm just going to go back and forth.
Yeah. Number one, when it comes to emailing for booking, don't send a message that says, "Hi, my name's Tom, I want to book a show." If that's all the email is, it's going right in the trash. Pretend you actually want it. Send everything possible there's really no such thing as too much, except for like a 17-paragraph bio. We don't need that, it's fine. But name, links, where you're from, your market history. Have you been, if you're going out of town, have you been through there before? Some of the places you played. Be concise, but be complete. Give us all the information we need to make an educated guess on whether or not we want to do it.
Okay, Tom. Anyone else want to chime in on that one? Greg?
Well, when I get emails, I always like to see the video. I want to see you kill it on stage, because that's what this is. Your studio album, that's great. And I want to hear you say something that makes it sound like you believe that I'm going to give you this show.
Anybody else? Thank you.
All right. For those of you that book, I get a question. In terms of kind of two different competing ideas of booking, I'm curious to know your thoughts on, I don't want to say pay to play, because if you do it right, it's not pay to play, it's invest and reap the rewards. And the opposite side of that, kind of a little more DIY, show swaps. Bands in different areas working out, hey, I'll bring you up to my area, put you in front of a good crowd, do the same to me. I was kind of curious your experience with that and what your thoughts are on both types of booking methods.
That's why he's here.
There we go.
The show swap is what it should be about. That's what networking is. That's why you come out. You want to try to get into other markets. It's really hard to come into another market cold and say, hey, let me come in. You're going to wind up, on a Wednesday night at midnight. So if you have the ability to show swap, do it. But you still have to vet the bands. They can't just be cool people. You have to have relationships. You got to build it. Give it a little bit of time before you try to come there. You want to make sure that they're who they say they are, that they can provide you a good slot and also back it up with a quality show. Not every show goes as planned. Sometimes it's going to go a little bit south. It happens, but at least do your homework ahead of time. And as far as the paying to play, you're talking like buying on the tours, packages, things like that?
Well, both. I mean, buying onto a tour, or even just saying, all right, so this national's going through, I'm going to volunteer to sell 50 tickets at $10, and I'll make $1 per ticket, or whatever it is.
I have a really similar mentality to Dave, and it's no secret. The pay to play situation is I'm not a fan of it. It's, you know, we don't like it. But as a business person, there is a part of that where you have to make sure that your show is going to be successful and you're buying on this national package tour. And like, we don't ask any band to come in and open on those national tours. We offer those opening spots to the bands who have proven themselves over time that we don't have to worry about it. We don't have to say, hey, you need to buy these 50 tickets from us and then go sell them. We'll do pre-sale tickets, but there's no minimum guarantee. That's lazy booking on the local level. It's different when you get up there, believe me. But on a local to intermediate level, we're going to say, look, here are consignment tickets that everyone's going to be pushing, including myself, to sell for this show. Whatever you don't sell, give them back to me, I'll turn them back in the box office. That's the way it works. If you choose as a band to invest in it and put it all up front, that's on you. If you want to sell it and whatever you want to sell, turn back, that works fine. I do that with Live Nation in Philadelphia all the time for our local events that we do at bigger venues. In terms of tours, that's a question only you as a band with your budget and management can answer. Is that tour, is that fan base you're going to get in front of worth it? You'll probably go sell out of all your merch. If you're good, are you honest with yourself on if you're good enough? That's all you to answer that question.
So it's really look at the numbers and make the smart choice. Sure. Thank you.
Oh, I didn't know you were started.
I just walked in. I have like an action.
By the way, while we're getting this squared away, Her Majesty,
Your
right?
question starts with I'm not trying to be a jerk. I'm a little worried.
Her Majesty's the name of it.
Her Majesty's next.
Her Majesty's coming up next, guys. Now, I hear rumors. Davey just confirmed this is true. After the second song, there's going to be a round of free drinks.
All right.
But you're going to stay here.
I think we should applaud that.
Okay, just came in. Sketchy question, go right ahead.
No, it's not a sketchy question at all. I ask this to people, bookers and whatnot. For years and years and years I've been asking this, and I've gotten various different answers. But I think that there is actually one real answer. They just give me whatever is convenient at the time. But let's see. National band is coming through, or a solo performer, or whatever. They're on a national tour. You feel as though you've worked hard enough, you want to open up for them because you will earn fans of your own for playing for their audience. Is it up to the place they're playing, or is it up to the performer themselves? Both. Okay.
That's a good question, by the way.
Thank you.
There's been many times that I actually fought really hard with agents to put a local band on a certain show. But it falls not on the agent itself either. It goes on the management of the headline act. You know, it's the management that decides whether they want to have a local or locals on the bill, and they're the ones who decide, oh, you know, on the tour package, you know, we're not going to do it local. So it doesn't fall on the band, and it doesn't fall on the artist either. It falls on the management of the artist. And they have their own agenda, and they have their own way of figuring things out. I don't necessarily personally, you know, agree with them 100% with all the decisions they make, but that's the name of the game.
Because I personally have known the person that's coming through or the band that's coming through, and they say it's not up to us, ask the promoter at the club, or it's not up to us, here's our manager's or our agent's number. And
I get it. Some genres of music, you know, they're more open. Let's say, I'll give you an example, metal music. In metal, it's very easy to get locals on the bill, because the actual management or agent, they really don't care, you know. When it comes to other genres,
I'm talking like more punk or indie.
It depends. It depends. It depends what the management is, what the band is. You know, sometimes it's very hard. You know, I don't want to put names, you know, and say, you know, oh, we have this coming up, but we're having a difficulty putting a logo on. But we have that, we face that all the time. And we can tell from pre-sale numbers. What we're seeing, we have the national ad coming through, and the numbers are not where we want them, and we know we need a strong local push. And we ask for it, and sometimes we really fight hard for it. It's like, hold on, you're offered the guarantee, help me make that money back. But guess what? It doesn't always happen.
Okay.
And it's not always our call.
All right.
There's another, just real quick, I know we want to get.
I have a part B to this question too.
But one thing that you said is when you talk to the promoter, that's a big if when it comes to the show. If it's an outside promoter that's purchased the tour package and the venue, it's not the venue's call or the tour's call. That promoter has total say-so on what they want to add to the show, and then it comes down to relationships, allegiances, all that kind of thing. That's a gray area. If it's a strict venue buy for the contract, then you have a little bit of leeway with either the venue or the act coming through. But if there's a promoter or sponsor involved, it's really difficult.
So part B of this question is, how do we get people to the show on time, meaning early, to actually see the opening acts so that we don't just see the headliners?
I'll answer a little bit.
Because I feel like all the times I've been in that position, I've played for just a few people because people show up just for the big band that's coming through, and it's like you're on a treadmill going nowhere. So how do we get the people in there?
That's a fact of music.
Davey's got to get free drinks out or something. Early though.
That's a fact of musical life. That just happens. You have to push, you have to go through. But have you ever seen the lines outside of a quality show?
Right.
As the opening act, are you in them? Are you talking to people?
Yes.
Because once you go in and you're done sound check, I guarantee you have at least 2 hours on at least a quality venue. You're going to have a time. You need to go out there. You need to go hit that line. Because all social media promotion, that does a certain thing. But your day of, when you hit the streets, if you're still an act trying to break through, you should be on the street of that venue, if possible.
But not every venue has that sold out line out the door. People just come in as they're coming in.
That's the 5 or 5,000 rule. You gotta play it. You gotta make them wish that they had been there.
We gotta get them there early.
They make it by your last song, it's still better be a
Show
fucking
starts
killer
at 8,
song.
you get there at 7:50.
I have a lot of input.
Who wants this? Lisa, it's all you. Ask questions about photography at shows. Davey wants it.
Lisa doesn't talk on my
I have input that responds to all of these questions. When I book a show, no matter what is happening, my goal, and I have to be aware of this, is to sell more Narragansett. If I can't sell more beer at the show, then I'm not booking correctly. So I know that if I get a bunch of 18-year-olds into my venue, I'm not selling Narragansett. So I don't book young bands because it doesn't keep the venue going. And the venue is keeping the venue going is my only goal. And when I'm doing open mics, I make friends with alcoholics because those are the people you need to come to your shows, because having people in that room doesn't matter if you're not buying more Narragansett.
Don't laugh, that's how we met.
And so I know, I had a show swap with a band called Kiss Me Deadly, and I've been to them, and they're coming back here in May, and it's my band and them, and I need a band that draws, because my band for some reason doesn't draw and doesn't sell alcohol, and they're certainly won't. And I know that this show will be a failure if I don't get a very big
All my friends are
parlor. All your friends are
I hang out with her sometimes.
So my goal, my conundrum in my mind is, how can I sell more whiskey at the parlor on May 26th? I don't know how, so that's my only goal when I'm booking a show.
Yeah, so we need for Max, 3 rounds of 30 seconds.
Okay, thank you. Everybody, a round of applause to everybody. Vince, Sandy, Marina, Jamie, Greg. I'm DJ Psycholetti. Her Majesty will be coming up shortly, and a free round of drinks after this second song.
On me.
On